I had to master ads, master email sales pages, all this, these things that are so important within the context of being an energetically based human who's attracting other energetically based humans. It's a very different conversation than just come learn how to do this one tangible thing. This is the way my brand has always been. There's always been this element of multidimensionality and, energetics, and it's not just like the how-to. So in everything that I do and everything that we do, we have to like bring that lens. And then we optimize to have the 3D system work for us being energetic beings. Like, this has been my shit. This is what I've monetized. This is what I teach you how to monetize, right? So you don't feel like you need to like become something other than who you are. We just have to help you work who you are, like through the systems that actually make you the money you want to make. Hey, Angel, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute, but we are back. And in today's episode, we're going to be chatting about a number of different things in the realms of success and the evolution of success in different phases of your life and business, defining success versus what you see and not automatically just making it, the way that you see it created on the internet. And just, we go deep. So a number of different things around this topic. And I'm sharing a life update and what I've been up to behind the scenes, what I've been thinking about, what I've been observing, what's going on in my business. It's a catch-up episode that is definitely going to have some things that get you thinking as well for how you want to create and the way that you want to create success for yourself and what that actually means to you. And ensuring that you're chasing your version of it and not someone else's so that you can really get there and not get distracted. So important. And I want to share as well that right now we are having a limited time birthday season sale. For y'all that don't know, my birthday was April 1st and I'm an Aries girl. Love a birthday celebration. Love being born on the first of the month. Love April now I'm in California. The sun's always out, but it was always like the turn of the season and I'm a sunshine girl, so feeling good. And right now you are able to join the Golden Era Intensive. So this is a private intensive with me at 50% off for a limited time to celebrate the birthday. And that is going to be a 60-minute call or a weekend Telegram together. And that week is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I have some clients who really prefer to do everything on a call. I have others who really enjoy that week where we have, can go back and forth over a few more days. You have a little more time to marinate on things, pop back into the Telegram chat, all the different things. So you are able to join at 50% off for a limited time. I am going to put the link in episode notes. And honestly, the Golden Era Intensive is for you if you want my eyes on your business, my eyes on your frequency, and you really want to approach things in a personalized way, in an alignment-driven way, get a strategic and an energetic lens on what you're doing, on what you could be doing, really clean up. All those places where you're just kind of like, something needs to change. You're not quite sure what it is. In certain areas, you feel certain. In other areas, you don't. Like what you're saying on the internet, you're like, yeah, like I like it, but like it's not like fully moving the room. And you can be in that really frustrating place. And I see this all the time where you have no wobble around what you do, the ability to get your clients results when the right people come into your world, like everything behind the scenes in terms of how things flow with your clients and your work is phenomenal. But it's really in that marketing, selling, positioning, getting to a flow that's really in alignment for you and all of that. And even just really deciding how you want to be known and how you want to represent that, knowing that you are multidimensional. Like I always joke, my clients are never the people who are selling offers that are just like how to blow up on Instagram, like y'all have, there's a place for that obviously. And that's an alignment for those people. But I attract very energetically attuned women who are multidimensional like me. And I totally get it. And you're not into just like cookie cutter ways of doing things, but you also want your business to work. And it can be challenging for you to like deduce yourself down to a fraction of what you are because the marketing world tells you, well, like, that's what you got to do. If you want to make money, we're in this era on social media that is very, like interest based. You see the person who's like only talking about astrology, right? Only talking about human design, only talking about this, only talking about that. And that can be perfect. But sometimes it can feel constricting for you, or you're like, but how do I find my voice inside of that? Or how do I build a business just being paid to be myself, which has always been my vibe and what I've loved the most? Of course, my teachings are through the context of like feminine business and money, and, with a focus on human psyche evolution and energetics and strategy that really works for us. But like, it's so important to feel grounded in this area, and it can really make us wobble literally no matter whether you're new to business or you've already made 7 figures plus. Like, I've had clients at all income levels start to feel that like, okay, but like, who am I? And sometimes it's been too edited down when you're not in the right room. Like, I can see this a lot with women who come out of like highly, highly, highly strategic spaces, where there's just kind of like one way of doing things, or you've been like overly floating around in the energetics realm, and you're just kind of like vibing and you don't feel like you have that firm masculine foundation underneath you. So wherever you are, if you are desiring personalized strategy, if you are desiring to really anchor your thought leadership in a way that really feels like you, if you're desiring your offer suite to feel simple and have things flow effortlessly, because, carrying around 20 offers and trying to do 60,000 different things is just like complicated, and you're tired and you don't want to be doing that. If you really want to dial in on your wealth frequencies, y'all know I've had a money journey. Money is my jam. And of course, you want to feel connected to your power, and not sometimes, but continuously. Then you're going to want to book the Golden Era Intensive. The way that it's going to work is you are going to fill out your Made to More audit form. And so what that allows is so that we don't have to spend all of our, like a lot of our time in catch up mode, because I really want to spend the time mentoring you and getting to solutions that are going to work for you. And so basically what's going to happen is you're going to fill it out, and this is going to give me a highly detailed look at your offers, your strategies, your energetics, your frameworks, your positioning, what's flowing, what feels sticky, like everything in between. And then that's going to help me see where you're under leveraged in terms of like points of power, and where we're leaving easeful money and deeper alignment on the table. Most of the time we don't even realize, and it's kind of like right under our nose. And then we'll also look at your signature edge. So this is going to be your highest points of luxury client attraction, both strategic and energetic, because guess what? We don't all shine the same ways. We don't all shine with the same frequency. We don't all shine with the same strategy. We don't all shine with the same messaging. Like, you truly are unique, and your business needs to fit that as well. Like, it's just wild. I have personally mentored hundreds and hundreds of women, and I have seen no two women totally excel and shine in the exact same way. And we really have to let go of this idea like, oh my God, it worked for her. Why doesn't it work for me? Well, because it wasn't supposed to. So let's get to what works well for you and what actually feels good to you, because we can also be making a lot of money in ways that are just like, okay, this was a vibe for me like a year ago, but now I'm like tired. Or like, I've just evolved and this doesn't fully feel like me. And maybe you're not trying to burn down your whole company, but like something needs to change. And I want you to not worry if that is you. I remember one of my clients in Vampire, there's an episode with her. Her name was Liv, and she had been her work had really focused on supporting women and optimizing their health through her, nervous system and energetic work. And it worked. It was working. And she just really wanted to shift and focus more on clients who were building businesses. And with the evolutions that we made in her messaging and literally just the positioning of her offers, there was so little we had to change. And she was able to pivot her entire niche. She's still where she wants to be today in terms of like who she's focused on. She did not experience an income dip. She actually increased her income to 70K months. And it was just so seamless. So I want you to know that you don't have to overly hold on to things just because they've worked before. And so we will be working on your signature edge. And so actually helping you map out, okay, how are we going to make that next 6 figures, that next 7 figures, whatever it is, with a lot more ease. And so when we get on our Telegram, week together or our call, I'm of course going to share my findings, my recommendations. We're going to dive into your questions, and then we're going to lock in the energetic and strategic optimizations that move the needle for you right now. Like there's nothing that I do when you're mentoring with me that is surface level. And we're just not going to waste any time. So we are going to get clarity. You are going to get momentum. You are going to really be able to settle into what is going to work for you. Know exactly why it's going to work so you don't feel like you're just kind of winging it. Like let's have any type of winging it be over. And then you're going to be really dialed in how to best express in the ways that are soulfully yours so that this sticks because it feels like you and also magnetizes your perfect clients. So it's such a vibe. I cannot tell you all the time I hear from women at all income levels. Literally, I've heard this from women who are new in business, from women who've already celebrated 100K months and everything in between. They have paid all the, 8-figure strategists. They've been in every single room. They've, done every trauma dig, all the different things. And they're like, I have tried to figure this out for so long, months, years, and you just helped me get there in like 30 minutes. And I'm like, yep, that's what that eagle eye I've got is for. Oh my goodness. That Scorpio rising and just high intuitive ability mixed with strategic genius. I bring both to the room. So make sure to jump in at 50% off. This is obviously going to be for a very limited time as it is my private work. You can pay in full. There's also the option for a payment plan. And then as soon as you book in, my team will send you your audit form so you can fill everything out. And then I'll have everything that I need. And then we'll get you scheduled in and we'll hop to it on our call. So I'm so excited for these. I genuinely love them. Like I'm obsessed. I love mentoring, and I love not only helping you make more money, but be fucking happier while you make it and not feeling so susceptible to just energetics around you, what's going on the internet, what's going on, and things that you see, and just so in your zone. So you are going to love it. Book in. I love you and enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Queen Flow, the podcast. This is your host, Jocelyn Kelly Reed. On this show, you can expect to learn about calling in big money the feminine way, business, spirituality, witchy stuff, and everything else you need to know about being a turned-on woman of wealth. It's fun, it's fiery, it's unfiltered.
Hey, Angel, welcome back to the show. I am popping in with a bit of a life update, a bit of an entrepreneur update, a bit of a different season of life update. We are off camera today. It has been a whirlwind. I'm on my period, so this is just what we're doing. And for the past few months, I have been doing quite a few of medical mediums protocols, not everything, but there's some days that are just heavier detoxing days I feel amazing. Today, I took a supplement that's actually not part of his protocol. It's something else that I'm like, my stomach is not loving it. It's so wild on this journey when you're really like rapidly improving your health, where it's like every new thing that you eat or try, supplement, whatever, you don't know how it's going to go, So I've learned to take it slow. And I'm an Aries, so taking it slow ain't really my thing. I tend to just like go guns blazing. But I've definitely learned, especially on the supplement front, I'm like, try it at a low dose first, see what happens, or even just like certain things going into my smoothies that I didn't have regularly. Like this is so weird. When I started adding dark cherries, like my stomach was like woof at first, and now I'm totally fine. Anyway, some supplements I get used to, some aren't for me. Anyway, so there's just also been a lot going on. Like my grandmother passed away in April. She was 100, which is just so cool. She had such a good life. So, I can't say that it was traumatic because she had a good life. She loved her life. She was happily married. After my grandpa passed away, she was in a relationship for, the past 25 years. She loved her kids. She loved her career. She loved her friends. She loved all of the activities that she participated in. Oh my gosh. She was the oldest living member. I can't remember to what degree of extension of her sorority, AKA, but they literally came and did a little ceremony at her wake. It was a whole thing. Anyhow, and good news, like what was so cool about it is if I went back to Atlanta, got to see my family, have so many of her mementos, like revisited so many photos. Like it was, very touching to the heart in so many ways, but also a lot. And then I just had an aunt pass away suddenly. I heard somewhere, I can't remember where, on the astrological front that we are all being acclimated to a certain level of loss. And even though we all know our time here is not forever, it's just, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. So this aunt I wasn't as close to as I was to my grandma, but it is my dad's sister. So now I'll be going back to Atlanta again to celebrate her life. And yeah, it's just been a really interesting internal season. I'll say in terms of my update in California, like I've just by being in an environment that is so much more supportive to my nervous system, I feel like I get more done. I'm not talking even about work productivity, but just life. Like it's so much easier. I always prioritize my health, but like taking things up to the next level and having space for that and doing all my research and getting like grounded in new routines and just even being able to like shop around, do all my things, like things just feel easier. I found out that I'm on my Venus DS line, not can't even remember what that stands for. Love astrology, but ain't like deep in it. So anyway, I do know that that line is very good for nourishment, receiving, relationships, and it's been so amazing. I have so many childhood friends here. I actually have more community here than I have anywhere else. And I kind of just never really thought about it because I was never focused on living here. But coming back and reconnecting with all my childhood friends from so many different seasons, literally starting at first grade, like all the way up through high school, has been amazing. And I feel so grateful that so many of them are nearby. And just the modeling they have for family and just marrying great men where like becoming moms hasn't like taken over their life. Like they're all fun. They like still do girl things. Their kids are amazing. Like just living well. So much modeling of just really harmonized, well balanced, happy living where you love your home, you love your family, like you love your friends, you're just connected to all these different areas of life. And I think that is just something I really enjoy being around. Love auntie life to both my friends' kids and my niece and nephew. Also, it's been so fun to hang out with them more. Still do not want to be birthing babies, but I still love like a close community/family vibe. And it's been the best here. I didn't realize, honestly, in living in so many places. I've moved quite a bit and been away from California since 2012. And even then, I was living in LA for 5 years before I left California. So I haven't been like in the East Bay, kind of like where I grew up in a very long time. And when did I leave LA? No, I moved to LA in 2012. So yeah, haven't been here since before that in like a long-term way. Yeah, so I never thought about it, but it's just so great. It makes life so easy and wonderful. And I'm so grateful for y'all having babies. It is so nice. Raise your kids somewhere that is desirable, that people actually want to be, because because your kids will actually come back. They will actually come back, which is so cool. And it's funny because, I have that experience in Piedmont, and then my brother lives in Marin and some of my friends too. And they all say, like, they meet all these parents who also grew up there. And I know that happens a lot in LA. And I'm like, you know what? There's something to be said for raising your kids in desirable environments. They'll want to come back, and like, they'll just have so many people to come back to because, certain places are hard to be. So you're like, travel around, you do all these different things, and you're like, where I came from was fantastic. Who knows if I'll stay? We don't really know. We'll find out, but it's working for right now. But what I wanted to dive into, I think something that, because I've been in a more, I would say like life focused season, internal focused season, where being on my phone isn't very interesting. Being like, it's so funny. I feel like I do what I do, but I don't feel like deeply in the industry. Like, your girl is not like running around to events and like all of this stuff, like trying to be as visible as possible, associated with whoever. Like, it's just like not really my vibe. Like, I love my people. I love my mission. I love my gift. I love the freedom. I love just being able to do something like this, pick up my phone, my mic in this case, say what I have to say and like connect with you all. Like, I love my purpose. I feel very in my purpose. But I'm definitely not in one of those seasons where it's like, go, go, go. Gotta be as visible as possible. Launch 6,000 things. Da, 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 da. And I'm not like hating on that season. I feel like there were years of my business where I was much more in that. And like it felt authentic. It didn't even feel like, oh, I'm choosing that. It just felt like that's who I am, who I was at that time. And it's been really different now. And some of you may have had this experience where it's like, okay, you were like that for however many years. And now you're like, okay, cool. Like work does not need to be so front and center. And I was always about ease and having like a business that supports your life, but I was just naturally more leaned into business because that's just where my energy naturally was. And that makes sense for, you know, however many of the first few years of your company, or the fact that I started my business during COVID. We were like at home so much just as lifestyle, you know? And now I just, so much of what's on my heart is like, I love everything about my business. I love my clients. Like, I will say that I really love, it's so funny because my energy goes to scaling the business in ways that don't require me. And it's created so much more space for like really deep connection with my clients. So it's funny. It's like I love passive money and then I love deeply supporting clients. And those things like really light me up and feel really good. I'm a relationship person. So that's always of high value to me, is like building those relationships. But in terms of like, okay, me, you know, putting in the effort to be on every big podcast, all this stuff, things I've done before, you know, I'm just like, I'm good. And I'm really happy I had those seasons because, you know, I think high momentum seasons and experiencing those in terms of like where you put your energy is really amazing. And life invited me to create momentum in different ways, like obviously losing multiple family members, moving back home to closer to my family. You know, my parents are getting older. They've had some health challenges come with that. And I'm happy that I'm here. And one of my clients was actually saying to me, you know, you will never regret that you like got this time with your family, because I've always been like adventuring around and seeing my niece and nephew like grow up just closer real time. It was so funny. They all came over the other day and I was like sitting on the floor playing with Reese and Nora, and Reese is 4, Nora's 2. And she came over and like plopped herself in my lap, and she's never done that before. And I was like, oh my God, just like special moments like that. And then of course, Reese wanted to sit in my lap too, because, you know, if one does something, the other's got to be able to do it too. And it was just so cute. And I was like, oh, they're around me enough where they're like super comfortable with that, you know? And Nora like didn't want to go home and wanted to keep playing. It was a whole drama. She was crying, leaving. And I'm like, oh, that is just so sweet. So yeah, it's like I always, it was like what life was to me was different before. It was like running around with my friends, which I still do, but like running around New York and like doing my fun photo shoots and just like building my identity as an entrepreneur. And I was always making my own money, but making a lot more of it. And, you know, making your own money in a job feels very different than making your own money in a business. So there's just so much of my identity being created in that kind of like initiator, very Aries, like forward moving energy. And now I feel like I'm so much more like in my Taurus season. My Venus is in Taurus, where it's just like rest, receive. And I am yielding the fruits of the skill sets that I've built, of the momentum that I created. And I'm so happy. And I'm, you know, focused on skill sets in different ways now. So for example, like I'm so happy that I sell high ticket well. I am so happy that I learned how to market and sell well. I am so happy that I really identified my place in the market and what works for me. Not like hyper niche, not like, oh my gosh, I only do one thing one way just because it's trending, but like what really works for me, because I like being able to always lean back into that, especially when you don't have as much energy going into business. You don't want to have confusion around those things, or it makes things really complicated. Like you just want to be able to, you know, do your thing, make money, and support your people and keep it moving, and not have a lot of like noise and mind chatter going to like questioning and looping in these places where you don't have certainty. So the places I've built certainty, like around my brand, around marketing and selling, around the offers I want to, show up for. And of course things evolve, but like that certainty and my ability to make money and my ability to represent the brand and my ability to have built a brand and continue to build a brand that is desired and that I love at the same time, like really grateful. I'm so glad that I started my ads journey last June. Oh, I'm a 3-5, so it's been a journey. And I'm like, wow, I built a skill set for creating passive income. People come in every single day. So as I've been going, I was offline when I was in Atlanta for my grandma. I mean, that was pretty emotional, obviously. It was just like a lot. Like, obviously, I was not that interested in being on social media, but I was still making money every day, And ads are a commitment too. It's not set it and forget it. It like is in a way, and individual assets make you money for a very long time. Whereas our organic content, like yes, reels resurface, but it's very different to have ads going and just a full system. And I love that. And that's somewhere I feel aligned, love putting my energy, get great results. And when things have to shift, I shift them. But I know what I need to focus on there. I kind of know what challenges are going to come up. Like I know what to expect. I know I need to, be testing new content in the background. Like I have a system and it works. My email funnels convert phenomenally well. Even at, because I wanted to test, I will be now updating Enchanted Sales with how I create them as a multidimensional woman, an energetic woman, and selling an offer that is energetic. Like my offers, as y'all know, are not like, yes, of course, I have a lot of strategic work as well. I just mentioned Enchanted Sales, but I'm not the mentor who's like, oh, here's how to sell a low ticket product, like through ads. You know what I mean? So my marketing is a bit different. So always, I'm always thinking about us energetic beings. It's like I had to master ads, master email sales pages, all these things that are so important within the context of being an energetically based human who's attracting other energetically based humans. It's a very different conversation than just come learn how to do this one tangible thing. This is the way my brand has always been. There's always been this element of multidimensionality and, energetics. And it's not just like the how-to. So in everything that I do and everything that we do, we have to like bring that lens. And then we optimize to have the 3D system work for us being energetic beings. Like this has been my shit. This is what I've monetized. This is what I teach you how to monetize, right? So you don't feel like you need to like become something other than who you are. We just have to help you work who you are like through the systems that actually make you the money you want to make. And in ads, I really like it because it doesn't matter if I'm on my phone or off my phone, like nothing matters. I just get to like do my thing. So I'm just so grateful I put the time and energy in and continue to. And like, I think that so much of what's shown online is just, and it makes sense because when you're showing up on social media, you're visible. But what we see a lot role modeled as success in this industry is it's just so like, it's very old paradigm. It's very Western. It's very like push, big visibility, go, 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 go. And it's so interesting because I have a big personality, but I have a very like leaned back energy in terms of like how I like to operate in my day. And just in my life, like I love intimacy. I love deep connection. I love laying in the sun. I just love like being in the present moment. And I've noticed that it's less modeled creating success that way. And I'm like, oh, this is so interesting because we will create these ideas that, oh, being successful in this industry means you must want to speak on stages. You must want to make sure you get on every podcast. You must want, X, Y, and Z. you must want to build a big audience. You must want to do 6,000 photo shoots. You must, like basically push the visibility to a 10 at all times. And remember, there might be seasons where you're like that. And I've had seasons where I was more like that. But I'm definitely not like that right now. And I don't know if it's permanent and I don't know if it's just a season. And it's not like, oh my gosh, I won't speak on a stage. I would. But I'm just saying the difference between like, oh yeah, I'm open to that versus like, and people are like in the energy of pushing towards all these things. And it's like, no wonder women get conditioned into their brains that that's the way to do it, because there's some people who are doing that from a place of genuine alignment. And I believe the way that they're designed astrologically through human design, their current life season, like whatever it is, they're designed to be that way. I think there's other people who push it because they feel like they have something to prove. And there's just kind of that, like, I've got to do this, right? And these are people who tend to be willing to let other parts of their life take the back seat in order to be that way. And that's not even necessarily a bad thing. It's just potentially the way they're wired. And I think there's people who look at that and they're like, you know what? I don't really want that, or I don't want that right now. And it's not about making what other people are doing wrong, but it's like, do you feel like you create stories around the success that you can have because of how you see success role modeled? And I think that is a really important question to ask ourselves, because what I think gets in the way of success for a lot of women who aren't necessarily trying to do it in like the hyper alpha female way is like, oh, well, I must not be able to have that because I don't want to show up like that. Or maybe you'll use the reason of my life doesn't support that, but really you just actually don't fucking want to and you're blaming your life. You know what I mean? But can you just let yourself create it a different way? Because for me, quote unquote, trailblazing has looked like, what do I radically want, and radically committing to that. And we hear that word commitment and we automatically go to like discipline, push, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, not necessarily. Like, of course, there's got to be a level of structure to creating anything that we want, right? And focusing on my health in new ways, there's this level of structure, but it doesn't feel like discipline. It just feels like, okay, these are the structures that I'm supporting myself with right now, right? So in business, for me, the way that I currently scale my income, I'm like, these are the structures that are supporting me. This is where I put energy, but I'm not really actively trying to grow my audience. It's not important to me to be on Instagram every single day, right? Like, this is what I specifically don't want to be. And this is why I love email marketing. This is why I love my ad engine. This is why I love the ascension model in my business that makes everything so much easier. And I like being on social media. And, I'm sure we'll build to a place where like the content won't involve like me. So meaning there will be systems for repurposing all these different things. That is like on my agenda, but it's not top priority right now. There's just other things we need to focus on. But just basically what I'm saying is, the big like visibility lovers are not like, although ads are obviously visibility, but I don't think about them like, oh, trying to like look important. I'm like, no, these just like actively feed my engine every single day. Like, why wouldn't I be doing this? This makes so much sense for someone who wants to be leaned back, because it's a system that allows me to lean back and still make money all the time. Check. Amen. You catch me on ads all fucking day long. But anyhow, do you have stories? Do you have stories? Because I think that just because of the way social media operates, people who pour a lot of energy into like showcasing through that avenue. I don't mean just using the platform. I mean like, look how visible I am. Look at all the big things I'm doing, blah, 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 right? That it's an easy forum for that. And you can share so many other things there. Like, some of my favorite accounts are people just doing things, gardening, health, herbs. Like, oh my gosh, there's this girl who cracks me up. She like went viral for gardening in the ghetto. She's basically like recreating her life, left an abusive husband, lives in Amarillo, Texas, and is like rebuilding her life and has no money, but has 3 kids. And she is, turning a Texas dry plot of dirt in the ghetto into a garden, and she calls it gardening in the ghetto. And she's so funny because she's like, 2 pounds, drinking Coors Light and orange juice and like doing her thing. We could not be more different. I do not desire to do anything that she's doing, but like she's being herself and she's fucking funny. And like I've probably never had a Coors Light in my life and have no plans to. Nor would I be like drinking. She does not seem like an alcoholic. I can't tell like what the vibe is, but I'm just you get the idea, right? She's just like a funny. She's just her own person. She's one of my favorite accounts, loving medical medium. There's this girl I'm watching on YouTube who does all this like Ayurvedic hair growth stuff I've been into. Just, you know what I mean? I'm enjoying content like that. But anyway, when it's our industry, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm like, I'm good to go. And why is that? I'm like, because most of what people focus on is everything that feels like pushing to be seen rather than just like relaxed into life. And I'm like, that is so interesting. Most of the relaxed into life content does not come from the very industry that I'm in when I value being relaxed into life. Now, of course, I could role model that to the degree that I desire to, but Instagram isn't a huge focus for me at present. But I'm there, you know? But I don't, it's like better for me to put my energy in other places of scaling than it is like I'm just only have so much creative energy in this current season. I need to put it in other places that are more important than me pouring tons and tons of energy into social media. And you might be in a season where you're pouring tons of energy into social media. Always never take from my conversations like what you should or should not be doing, what you have to or don't do. Like, there's so many things I used to do that were highly valuable that I don't do now. Some things I'll do in the future that I don't do now. You know what I mean? Things are always evolving. And that's the whole fucking point. That is the whole fucking point that I've been talking about for the past, where are we? I'm in year 7 now. It's like your business, let your business evolve with you. My business has evolved so much to match my current life seasons. And I feel that we get really stuck and really just like in our heads and the money starts stalling and all these different things when we're not letting our business evolve with us and we keep trying to reach back for how we created money before, how we were showing up before, who we were before. And it's like, well, didn't you start this journey because you believed in your evolution? Didn't you expect to have a few identity shifts along the way? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't sometimes come by surprise. Like the way I am now, if you told me this is I'd be in California a year ago, I'd have been like, you're out of your fucking minds. You know what I mean? So yes, there were things that caught me by surprise, but I've just made enough big life changes to know like, oh, okay, you roll with it because good things are coming, you know? Or for example, I used to offer a lot more proximity in my worlds and I have less now. But there was a time where like that was my shit. And now it just feels like there's less of it, but I'm able to go deeper, you know? And I like that too. And then that energy that was previously going towards feeling lots of proximity and being really visible on the internet and all this stuff is just going into systematizing and scaling a business that can run without me while also closely supporting clients, you know? But if you told me then that's what I would want, I would have been like, well, I'm someone who actually cares about coaching people, blah, fucking blah. You know what I mean? Like, I just did not have the perspective that I have now. And I still care about coaching people, but I probably would have made some case for like, you know, well, I don't like need, because you'll see the girls do this now who are just like in their hype queen era where they're like, I made $1 bazillion. I don't have any systems. I don't run any ads. I'm like, good for you. Hope you don't end up in the hospital. And when you do, okay, babe, you know, but it's like they feel that way because of where they are in their business currently, you know, and they'll probably change their mind later. So that's okay. And everybody doesn't need to have an ad journey. But if you're like a girly who likes to chill, 10 out of 10 recommends it. But you know, so I'm not even necessarily judging that because I can totally relate to it from earlier in my career, but it kind of like makes me laugh. Like money just made on momentum, basically, with like nothing underneath you. I'm like, it has a shelf life. And they might always be organic, but chances are you start to burn out and then you're like, hey, there's got to be other things in place to support this. Because for me, it's like, I don't want a business that is reliant on only masterminds and private coaching. Like that's amazing. And we love that high ticket money, but like it's very reliant on your energetic availability. And of course, you get to structure those things when you do them in ways that support your energy. I still enjoy it. I still like it. Like I would feel off not mentoring anyone. That's not something I actually want right now. But I know it makes sense to scale up these other parts of my company so that I always have choice. Like for me, it's just always been about the power of choice. But momentum money is fun too. But anyhow, notice how you associate success with like doing certain things, being a certain way, showing up a certain way. And even if you don't want to show up in all those ways, or maybe some of them or not all of them, like, do you think that you have to make less money? And isn't it interesting how we'll go there? And I'm like, no, you just get to make money the way that you want to make it. You get to model in the industry what you want to model. You get to show up how you want to show up. That's what's making people pay fucking attention in the first place. I just think it's so wild that we'll see certain things and be like, oh, that's the way I need to be. But then when everybody's like that, so many people are like, oh my God, can you give me something different? You know what I'm saying? It's like us being most expressed in the way that's genuinely in alignment for us right now is always what is going to magnetize the most money. Like, yes, that needs to be supported by genuine skill set for marketing, selling, content, offers, positioning, like all these different business things, or else you're just going to be vibing, and we want to be like vibing and making consistent money. So we're never throwing skill out the door, but just in terms of the feeling of your brand, the presentation of your brand, how you carry yourself in business, how you carry yourself on the internet, what marketing avenues you prioritize versus which ones are not important to you right now for whatever reason. Like, do what you want to fucking do. If you don't do what you want to do, you are going to be miserable, and you will always be thinking like, you'll always have this feeling like you're not doing enough or you should be doing different because you're not doing what actually makes you happy. When you do what makes you happy, you tend to stay out of comparison because you're happy. When you do shit that doesn't make you happy, you get more in comparison because you're already so out of fucking sync with yourself that then your antennas and what you're looking for is things that just take you further away from what is going to make you happy. So remember not to source what you want from the internet. And this isn't just in business. I think people do it with life. Like, for example, you might get the idea that like once you're making X amount in your business, you need to buy X car or X house or whatever, right? Again, success looking certain material ways. And you may be someone who like, I like a nice house. I like a nice car, but my version of, well, cars is pretty much say the same, but I would say my version on home and what it's not that it costs any different. That's never changed about me, but the environment is different. So before, right, I loved glass castle in the sky and it was such a fucking vibe. I'm so glad I lived that way. Now I want a house with a pool and a yard and, you know, to be able to chill outside with my friends and stuff like that. So things that still cost a good amount of money, just that like living in the glass castle in the sky did, but I just wanted a different way. But for someone else, like a big house may not be important. Like I like high luxury. That may not be important to you. Oh my gosh, I went to Healdsburg for my birthday. I love wine country. I saw a Bentley SUV for that first time. Something on the car front that kind of annoys me. I'm like, everyone drives the same fucking cars. I'm like, you know, they're nice, but I'm like, they're all the same. Then I saw this Bentley SUV and I was like, ooh, what is that? And of course, I was like, of course you like that. Jesus, Jocelyn. But anyhow, you know, so what I'm trying to say is I have very expensive taste. But I like it. Like, but I like things to feel, and it's funny because I came out of an apartment that was more modern, right? And now I'm like, I want family photo. I mean, I had family photos, but like a more lived in, textured, cozier environment is what I desire now. Still costs a lot, but it has like a different energy. That's like what feels good to me, you know, versus so now when I see people who have like really modern all glass apartments and whatever, I'm like, oh, I don't care. Like it does nothing for me because I already had that, you know? So, but what do you want? Like you may want to like live in the woods and, you know, or ski all the time or, you know, be knitting and reading and like, you know, maybe what is it? Live off the fucking grid. I don't know, girl, whatever it is. Do you fully embrace that? Or are you thinking like you should want it some other way? Like I love family life and it's funny because like I love watching family life even on the internet and in reality, but I don't actually want to birth kids. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to shake up. Of course, I have my own immediate family and extended family. And, my friends are part of that as well as my bloodline. But I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I like that. But I don't really want it that way. But wouldn't it be so easy for me to be like, oh, well, because, I want the house and the pool and I love family environment, to be like, oh my gosh, well, that means that I should get married, have a baby, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what has been modeled is like success within the context of if you enjoy family. I'm like, no, I'll just do it the way I want to do it. Or when I've been thinking about having a partner, I'm like, I don't know that I really want someone like in my bed every single night. Like I love partnership, but I also like don't need to be around someone 24/7. Like now I understand. I'm like, oh, okay. I see now why people have 2 bedrooms, or like I would want to sleep with him more often if I had my own space. I'm like, I don't want to share a closet. I want my own closet. I want my own like girly room. He might not want to be in a girly room, but he can have his room. I can have my room. And then I'll want to be together more often just because I have more space. Like I like space, if you couldn't tell. And it's not one of these like I'm afraid of intimacy. It's like legitimately like my energy I just need energetic space, but I love connection. And I'm like, oh, did those two things get to live together? I don't have to do it how other people do it. I can do it however I want to do it. And he'll maybe just be like me in that way, where he's like, love you, but like also let's have our own space in the house, So but I haven't really seen that role modeled. I've heard about it, but I'm like, okay, I see how I would like that. And it feels suffocating to me to always have to be like in the same room. I'm like, he might not want to look at my clothes being wherever they are in the room. And I don't want him to have to. He might want to do like boy stuff that I don't really want to look at too. Who knows, But the thing is, it's like you just have to be willing to radically stand for what you want and be so in touch with yourself that you're clear on what that is. And I know that I've needed a lot of stillness, a lot of peace, a lot of time offline to know. And I feel like when we're in confusion, there's not been enough like clearing of the energetic cup where things can land. I've learned it's really important for me to create that space every day, to focus on my energy fueling activities every day. So, for me, it's like being outside, it's being at the beach, it's hiking, it's time with friends, it's time with family. It's, making time for my health regimen, my smoothies, my food. Oh my gosh, I made my own whipped shea butter. Like I'm really trying to minimize. I was always into like low toxins, but I was like, you know what? I have energetic space now. I'm just going to make my own body lotion. Why do I need to buy it? There's always all these sneaky things in it. And I was really loving like shea oil, but I was like, why is it all come in plastic? I was like, I'm just going to make my own whipped shea butter. I can put it in these glass jars. And it was just such a peaceful activity. I also got inspired. My mom is in this like women's charity group, and, they go to each other's houses for their events and stuff like this. And she was telling me they went to this house and they had a flower room in the house. I was like, a flower room? See, giving me things to want I didn't even know I want. Basically what that is, for those of you maybe like me who don't know, it's like literally a room in the house where you just arrange flowers. You know how when you bring home a bunch of flowers, like you like it, but it also kind of makes a mess because you need to cut out them all. And then you've got all these stems, you have all these leaves, and it's just messy. And then that's in your kitchen. And like, of course you can clean it and throw it away. But like, I always would get annoyed. Like, I would have all this like kitchen food stuff and then bring in all these flowers. Like if you bring in flowers, I would bring them in like for my whole apartment. It was just a lot going on. And I was like, this, and here I am showing you the real princess that I am. I was like, this makes so much sense. I want a flower room. That takes out so much headache. That is amazing. Why did I bring that up? Oh, things you want, And I was like, I love that idea. And like, someone's going to think I'm a snoot for wanting a flower room or how that's totally obnoxious. And I'm like, for me, that sounds perfect. And I love it. And then like, I love arranging. Maybe I should take a flower arranging class. I'm like, I would do it so much more if I had a dedicated space for it. Just things like that where it's like, just want what you fucking want. And you, like I said, might want to live off grid. Well, I want all these other luxuries, And can you make that okay? And the way that you want to do business, can you actually just do it how you want to do it and get support for doing it well the way that you want to do it? Because the thing is, no matter what you want to do, it's monetizable. We want to strengthen your skill sets for making it easily monetizable. And then it's just a fucking vibe. And then you're quote unquote trailblazing, but you're not like wearing the traditional hat of like the trailblazer and the alpha female way you've seen on the internet. And it's not even about trying to trailblaze. It's just about being your fucking self. But I think that there's a lot of adult women who aren't even doing that in business and then wondering why business feels hard, why you don't want to do it. I'm like, because you keep waiting to like jump into somebody else's skin and like what she likes and want to do things the way that she does them, or doing them in alignment with what's or wanting to be someone who is in alignment with the way she does things. That's just not in alignment for you, or it's not in alignment for you right now. And it might be next week. But the more that I've just embraced like whatever current season I'm in and just always building and refining to support that season and just being communicative about what that is with myself, with my people. And then it's so fun because I always learn how to make money even more seamless ways. And I'm like, we're winning. But when we hold on to our old identity and try to bring it into a life that doesn't fit it anymore, or a business that doesn't fit it anymore because we've just changed, it's really painful and it's slow and it's tiring. And, something I see so often mentoring clients is I'm like, they're bringing identities of hard. They're bringing identities of struggle. We're just bringing identities of, oh, this is just the way it is. Oh, you got to put your time in. Oh, blah, fucking blah. And I'm like, do you? I always reference back to this. I'm like, I don't know. I went from, my first year was a 330K cashier. It didn't take time in the game. Like, I've been on some of the, biggest spiritual shows in our audience. It didn't take time in our audience, in our space. It didn't take time in the game. I'm like, if you believe everything takes so much time, you're always going to insert the element of so much time. And there are things that, get better with time, but I've never walked around being, oh my gosh, it takes so long. And anytime when I have inserted that element of time, everything goes slower. When I took time off the table, everything went faster. Quantum leaps aren't dependent on time, they're dependent on alignment. And our work is to move in alignment. And then you take out the factor of time. And then realistically, if you're going to get what you want either way, does it really matter how long you took? Like, you'll always look back and be like, you know what? Those times I was hard on myself, I wish I wasn't. Those times where I like couldn't see the way forward, I wish I just fucking let myself have fun. All the times that you're spending in self-doubt and self-criticism and shoulds and obligation, blah, everything that is just low frequency, you're never going to look back and be like, I'm so happy I was like that. So why don't you just fully embrace this current season and see what it has to offer you and align everything to what feels good and stop paying attention to what you see on the internet as, oh, I must model that in order for me to have what I want, because that's how you dip into the follower energy. And it's not actually the follower who's getting what she wants. And you need to remember, for all the ways people show up, for some of them, it's in deeply in alignment. For some of them, it's not in alignment fucking at all. And they're paying a big price behind the scenes. For some, it's alignment during different seasons, right? For some, they're telling themselves it is, and they'll find out later. And it doesn't fucking matter. And it's none of our business. Now, is it? But what is our business? It's like, but how do you feel? If you're fully honest, how are you feeling inside your business? How are you feeling inside your money? How are you feeling inside your message, your brand, what you stand for, your positioning, your thought leadership, your energetics, like the full range of what we are, right? Inside of business, life, your friendships, your love life, your health, all of it. Be bold enough to paint it all at a 10, not by what society has told you a 10 looks like, but a 10 for your soul. Because even if you went out and fully built based off what society told you, if it's not for you, it ends up fucking crash, burn, misery. Like it's just, it ain't worth it, right? So like, we're all here for different reasons. We're all here to show up in different ways. We're all here to have, for those of you who love having a platform, right, which I do, like different types of fame. But it's like, I think the thing that can feel so mysterious about it is like, oh my gosh, but if I can't model myself after someone else, who am I? And it's like, but you are never going to be somebody else. That's why we're all born uniquely us. We might have, we get bits of inspiration and like, oh my God, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. Like, of course there's stuff like that. Or, we go towards teachers who are in vibrational alignment with parts of ourselves, all of ourselves, parts of ourselves for different seasons, things we want to strengthen. We're not looking for twins. We're looking for expansion. We're looking for brilliance. We're looking to strengthen skill sets that we don't have or that could be stronger, all these different things. So, of course, we connect into other people, but connect in with other people to feed you. Don't connect in with other people to create a point of comparison where you're making yourself wrong. Because the more just fucking solid and convicted you are in who you are and how you like to do what you do in this season, while always leaving that space for evolution because things change and never making the prior versions of yourself wrong, like the easier time you're going to have, the easier time you're going to have. So I just wanted to share that today. It was a bit off the cuff, but I know the soul medicine need to come through. I also want to share that my Golden Era Intensive is currently on sale for 50% off. So if you are feeling like it is time for deeper energetic alignment, for strategic alignment, for positioning alignment, or just you're at a place where you're like, okay, like we're moving, but like you just know there's some extra it's time for an activation, it's time for refinement. You have something that you want, you feel something wanting to come through you, you're not quite sure what it is, you know that it's time for a shift, you're not quite sure what it is. I will bring my intuitive and strategic brilliance to the table. I absolutely love doing these intensives. So with the Golden Era Intensive, you have the choice of a 60-minute call or a week in Telegram together. They are such a vibe, and we just go so clear, so fast. I've just heard women say to me over and over, I have been rolling around with this for like months and months and months, and you just spelled out the solution, what I've been feeling that I didn't understand, and what needs to happen in like 30 minutes. And that is just the joy of it. If you are in a launch, if you are wanting to refine a certain aspect of your business, maybe you're wanting to run ads, or you are running ads and it's feeling clunky, or you have an offer and it's not selling the way that you know that it could, you're a fucking genius, all your clients tell you are, and it's not being fully represented, or you want to figure out how to optimize your business for what you actually want, then come my way. This is a limited time opportunity. And also, I just want to share, because I get so much feedback about the overflow tapes, the private podcast. If you are not in, jump in. We will have the link in episode notes. This is a free private podcast where I share the truths of wealth building that manifestation priestesses and budget crazy bros have not told you. It is such a fucking vibe. And then I also want to remind you about the Secret Money membership as well. Currently, there is still the ability to join on the 5-day free trial. I do think I'm going to be getting rid of the trial. So if you're interested in experiencing that, please jump in. It's just, you get all my masterclasses, all my behind the scenes, real-time riffs that I share. You have all the master courses as well. And it's a vibe all around and a place to just stay continuously connected. And I love it there. And of course, we will drop the website as well. I know I mentioned some things that are going to Enchanted Sales, and that there's so much that's already there. So be sure to check that out. And if you are wondering how to work together, also sometimes I get questions from those of you who do not have a service-based business. If you are interested in doing energetic work together, Feminine Magic and Money also has, I think I'm going to take one more person. So that is a private immersion for deep embodiment of feminine wealth, pleasure, magic, and magnetism. You can have a business or not. Like, we are much more focused on the energetics, your life force energy, and teaching you how to be a master of the unseen through your fucking frequency. And I walk with you real time. The results are profound. You can see them on the enrollment page. So shoot me a message if you're interested in claiming that space. I do think I'm going to close it for now after that last space is claimed. But as mentioned, I would absolutely jump into your Golden Door Intensive. They're a real fucking vibe. You do have the option for a payment plan as well, but they are painful before start. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I love you so much. Thanks for being here as always. Oh, and you're able to rate and review the podcast. Send your screenshot in. and you are able to receive $200 off any offer. That does not apply to private coaching, and it does not apply to Secret Money membership. But anything else that is over $200 is up for grabs. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the episode, I would love it if you'd leave a 5-star rating and written review for the show. And if you can please share this podcast so that I can help more women, that would mean the world to me. Make sure you tag me on Instagram so I can say thank you, and let's rise and change the world for all women together. If you want to work with me, head to my site, JocelynKellyReid.com, or send me a DM and I'll be in touch. I'll see you on the next episode.